It's episode 120 of Unstuck, and today we're talking about something that we all want to come out of having our own businesses: freedom, and what it actually takes to create that freedom-filled business for yourself. So stay tuned. I'm Shawn Mynar, and this is Unstuck, a space for heart-centered entrepreneurs to implement both the inner work and outer strategies required to get unstuck and build the impactful, profitable business of their dreams. No hustle, grind, or long hours required. Let's get into today's session. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Unstuck podcast. So happy to be here with you. So grateful that you are here with me and we can chat about freedom. This reason why we have a business or want to have a business in the first place. I think that we can all agree, and it seems to be the case, that whenever I ask current and future entrepreneurs why they want their own business, like what's really the motivating factor behind it, what they're most excited for also, it's freedom. It's the freedom that it will bring to not work for somebody else, to not have a set schedule, to not be capped with the income growth that you could have in working with a company or in some sort of career path. You will be able to release all of that and have a little more space for your own freedom. And that is exactly what it was for me too. So I am in that same boat. I completely understand and I completely agree. That is a super important factor. For me, it is probably the most important factor over anything else, is that I do have my own schedule, that I can do with my time what I choose, that I can have, faster weeks and slower weeks, faster days and slower days, that I can take time off whenever I want. It's very much a time freedom thing for me over anything else. And that's really what it came down to when I did quit my job and go all in on having my own business back in 2013. I didn't want to work for someone else. I didn't like working for someone else. I didn't agree with their methodology and with what they wanted me to do. There was some clashing there, not in a bad way, but I just very much realized I had my own ideas that I knew would work, and I didn't want to follow someone else's rules. So I think that was a big factor in wanting that freedom too, kind of like the autonomy to create my own path and to make my own decisions, what I knew would work best for me and my clients and the work that I was doing. I wanted to make my own schedule, as I mentioned, very much had gotten into the path of waking up super early, getting to work super early, leaving super late, working even on weekends, and I was over it. Like, that was fine in my 20s, sure, great, but I was over it at that point and wanted to have a little more freedom to create the schedule that I wanted. And wanted to do what I wanted to do, wanted to make more money essentially, because what was happening in my role as a personal trainer working for somebody else was that they were getting 80% of the profit from the sessions that I was selling and performing. And I understand there's going to be that relationship when you're working for someone else and in someone else's space and for a corporation and all that stuff, but I just wasn't into it. It just wasn't for me. I felt like I was doing some really good work and was not being paid appropriately for that work. All that to say, freedom, in all those ways, you can see how freedom was really at the core of that desire and what I wanted, and the decision for me to leave. I wanted that freedom. So today I want to share a little bit more about my experience in actually getting to a place where I have that freedom, because it didn't happen the second I quit my job and started my own business. And perhaps that's where you are today, or something that you're worried about when you do start your business, or you do quit your job to go straight into your business, is that freedom won't be there. And that freedom isn't there. What you thought would happen hasn't shown up yet, and you don't necessarily feel that way. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the tools, the tricks, the advice I have for you on how to actually get to this place of freedom that you're looking for. The reason, one of the main reasons why you started your own business or want to have your own business. So we're going to do that today, kicking it off with a quote. You guys, this quote just absolutely speaks to me in such few words, and I hope it does for you too. It's by Moshe Dayan, and it says, "Freedom is the oxygen of the soul." Oh, I just feel that. Freedom is the oxygen of the soul. It is a vital component to having a soulful experience on this planet, and to really reviving your spirit and soul. It craves that, it needs that, it wants that. And I think that's why there's so many of us who answer that question of, why do you want to have your own business? What are you most looking forward to? What are you most excited about? It's freedom. It's because we're speaking to our souls. We want to invigorate that internal being within us, and freedom is the way to do that. All right, let's get into this. So back to my story. Quit my job, went into my own business because I wanted to have my own schedule. I wanted to do what I wanted, have a little more autonomy, all that good stuff. And it didn't happen. When I started my business, it didn't feel that way at all. I didn't feel any sort of freedom that I was looking for. I was still working a lot of hours, and I was able to let go of the schedule that, my boss wanted me to work. This corporation said I needed to work. I traded that in, but then I became beholden to my clients' schedules, when they could meet with me, when it worked for them. And as I think a lot of you know, I started with a personal training business, which meant I had to train with them. I had to work them out in the mornings, in the evenings, on the weekends, around their schedule. So I was still very much trapped in a schedule that didn't really work for me, especially not for the long term, and especially not if I was looking to have any sort of personal life or have anything happen. It was kind of capped because of the schedule I had. I also still needed to work a lot of hours, have a lot of clients, have a lot of sessions in order to make an income that would cover my expenses, cover my costs of living. It wasn't like I could go down to part-time hours or anything like that, because I was dependent on those hours I worked for my income. And that is going to become super important as we talk later about finding a way to make income that's not reliant on you and your time. Super duper important. I also, when I had the personal training business, and even going into when I switched to nutrition and was taking nutrition clients, and this is something you really have to consider if you do want to have one-on-one clients as your business model, which we'll talk about in a second. But something you have to consider is that when you take time off, not only are you not getting paid like PTO like you would if you were working for a company or a business for somebody else, where you can cash in and still basically make the same amount of money when you're on vacation as when you're working. It's not like that when you have your own business. And when you are working with one-on-one clients, you are essentially losing income because you are not taking those clients for that week. So not only are you not making any money, you're actually kind of losing money when you think about it that way. So I was not taking vacations. I was not traveling very much because I couldn't lose out on that income of not having clients for those few days or those few weeks. And so it meant I was losing money and I wasn't able to do that. So as you can see, doesn't feel very freedom filled at that point. So then as I went further along in my business, I really started craving that actual freedom that I was looking for. And I was determined to get it. I was determined to figure it out. At the time, I had no idea how I was going to do that. I didn't know when it was all going to come together, but I did know what I wanted it to look like. And that is the key there. I knew I wanted to be able to work fewer hours so that I had more of my own free time to do what I wanted to do, whether that be taking walks, going on a hike, taking a nap, hanging out with friends and family, going on vacations, whatever it was. I wanted more free time for myself. I also knew I wanted to work from anywhere. I personally wanted to be able to travel and still work. I wanted to be kind of this digital nomad type thing. That was really important to me. And I also knew that I wanted to increase my income. I wanted to get to a different level of income so that I really could feel financially free. So in my mind, when I visualized that at this time, it looked like traveling the world, taking my laptop to coffee shops all over the world, and sitting down with a cup of amazing coffee and working, checking in on my business, checking in on clients, and doing what I love to do, but from anywhere. I also saw myself leaving my laptop behind, leaving my business behind, and taking real vacations where I didn't check in or do anything and come back to a business that was totally fine, that had grown or maintained while I was gone, and I didn't have to worry. I didn't even have to think about it for a second while I was gone. I also saw myself having leisurely mornings where I could just kind of wake up without an alarm, which I hadn't done in I don't know how many years at that point. I wanted to take long breaks in the middle of the day to go hiking or to do my own workouts. And I just really super craved, and this is something that is still really important to me. And I don't really exactly know why, what it is about my personality, but it is. I love having an open calendar. I absolutely love it when I have even one day where there's nothing I have to do, like no meetings, no interviews, nothing where I have to be somewhere at a certain time, because then that is when I find my best flow to create my best work within myself. I need this kind of open time, and that still is the case for me, and I knew it back then. And so I saw myself just having this open calendar, and I could decide what to work on, when I wanted to work on it, when I felt in alignment and was ready to work. That's when I could work. So as you can see, I was really clear on what I wanted this freedom-based business to look like and to feel like. And all of this, I really got into it, I really got invested in it around the summer of 2016. And I know this because I can go back to my journal entries and it is right there. And I'm really starting to focus my attention and intention on finding this freedom, on creating a different business model that works in this way and is able to provide this life that I'm looking for, that I really, truly want. So I start visualizing it. And you guys all know I'm super into visualization. I start using that visual in my meditations and doing some extra visualizations. I start kind of acting as if this freedom based business is already happening. I actually start like firing, I guess. I don't want to say that because it wasn't a negative thing, but letting go of clients, even though I didn't have anything at the time to replace them, I just started letting go of clients so that I did have more time. And of course, as soon as I went through that process of letting go, that time was filled in a much greater way, and that income was replaced multiple times over because I was able to let go. But we'll save that conversation for a different day. Just a little hint that that's actually what happened there. But anyway, summer 2016, got super clear, got really intentional, really started to work on it. You know from our past conversations here on Unstuck that what I'm doing is working on manifesting this business model, this freedom-filled business. And by May of 2017, so less than a year later, I was traveling all over the place. I was sometimes bringing my laptop and making it a quote-unquote work trip, which is what I wanted, and sometimes leaving my laptop behind and making it a full-on vacation and coming back to a super thriving and growing business. So less than a year later. And in 2017 alone, I went to Barbados, Belize. I went to Spain twice, some of which were for nutrition conferences. And so I was traveling for work, which was a huge dream of mine. Traveling internationally, even better. And some was for fun and without that laptop. So yes, I had manifested that freedom-filled business that I wanted, and it happened quickly. So how did it happen? What did I do? As you know, as you can tell by the story I just told, I got clear on what I wanted and how it would look and feel. I had just gotten, prior to that summer 2016, I had just gotten really involved with mindset work and spirituality and law of attraction and the other universal laws around that time. And so, as a lot of you know, if you've been following me for a little bit of time, I started using that to heal my body because I was going through a lot of physical illness. And so I started using and got into mindset work and energetic work because I wanted to heal my body. It was like the last resort. I didn't know what else to do. Nothing else was working. And so I went there for that, and it started working. And so once I started getting even a little bit of progress, a few months down the road, now I'm like, hey, maybe I could use this for my business and start kind of manifesting the business that I truly desire and the income that I truly desire. And so then that's when summer 2016 hits and my journal takes a turn, and I'm really starting to focus on the desired business I wanted, how it would look, how it would feel. That was the first thing. I got super, super clear. I then took action on any nudges, niggles, intuitive guidance, whatever you want to call it, that I got leading me in that direction towards that business. And again, part of the story that a lot of you know, but in case you don't, let me just tell you, one of those big nudges I received in that time was to create my own online signature program. That happened in the fall of 2016. I will never forget that moment where I was just really in this place of like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Using the energetic tools that I was really getting into at that time, specifically meditation and connecting with my intuition, doing the visualizations, all that stuff that we talk about here a lot on Unstuck. I just got this random, so random idea to do this program. I didn't know how. I didn't know what that even meant, what it would look like, what software I would use, how to do anything. I didn't know anything. All I knew was that sounded like something that would bring me everything I was desiring. So long story short, fall of 2016, got that download, spent 2.5 months creating the program. January of 2017, I'm running my beta group of my very first signature program, and I had 30 members in that beta group. And for me, as you can see, that was the thing that gave me the freedom I really wanted in my business. It was only 4 months after that I was starting to travel, that I had gotten rid of all of my one-on-one clients, not gotten rid of, but I had transitioned them into the program. And I was no longer seeing any personal training clients locally. And so my business had this transformation really quickly that freed up my time, freed up my calendar and my schedule, freed up my bank account, and freed up my location dependence. It really was the turning point for me in how I could build the business I actually had been dreaming about this entire time. And on top of that, as you know, one of the reasons why I love signature programs, or maybe you don't, but I'm going to tell you now, it also allowed me to reach more people and to help more people and to stand out in an industry that was really pretty saturated at the time. The nutrition industry, even more specifically, the keto world was really blowing up at the time, and there was just a lot of voices out there. And I was able to have my own voice in a pretty crowded space because of this program that I created and how I was approaching it differently than other people. So I now want to extract the things about that transition in my story that truly created the freedom. What was it about that experience that made the freedom-filled business I desired actually possible? What happened? The program that I created was the vehicle that delivered that freedom. But for those that don't want a program, or, maybe you don't want a program, that's fine. But if you don't, we can still pinpoint what really happened in all of that made it the case, because I think there could be other avenues that will do that for your business too. Now, just so we're all very clear, and I'm being transparent here, I love signature programs. I am a huge fan. I am now teaching others, you, how to create your own signature program, because I think it is the ticket for so many. But hey, maybe not for everybody. And so I want to instead take out what happened from that experience so that you can decide if there's another avenue for you to go down, or maybe, hey, a program would work for you too. So there's 5 things. Let's go over them. Now, caveat, this is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are hundreds of other things that you can do to create freedom in your business. This is just talking specifically about that scenario that I went through and what I was able to bring into my life or take out of my life in order to find that freedom. So just keep that in mind. The first thing is an energy shift. As you can tell from my story, that once I got really clear and dedicated and committed to making that business a reality and figuring out what I wanted it to look and feel like, that completely shifted my vibration towards my business, the vibe that I was bringing into my business and to my future business. So when it comes down to it, as you know, I am going to talk about a lot of practical things that you can do to create freedom in your business, but none of it's going to happen and none of it's going to matter, and you're still not going to feel any sense of freedom if you don't start energetically. And you know that that's what I do and that's what I teach and that's how I roll when it comes to your business. We got to start from the energetic level. So, do you actually believe that level of freedom is possible for you? Answer that honestly. Do you believe that it's possible for you to work from anywhere, to maybe only take 5 one-on-one clients a month and everything else is passive, to have a completely uncapped income? Do you believe that level of freedom, no matter what it is that you want, maybe it's just working part-time so you can spend the other time with your family or raising your children, whatever it is, do you believe that's actually possible for you? And do you believe that you can work part-time, or you can work 5 hours a week, or you can have only 5 clients a month and still make the income you desire? Because that's really what true freedom is. Sure, we can all just start working less, but then do our bank accounts take a hit? Then it's not true freedom, right? So you really have to get to that point where you believe that it's possible. And how we do that is to go through the experience of creating that visualization, creating that idea, creating that life and business for yourself that brings about the feeling and the knowing and the believing within you. It will happen as you continue to dream about it and visualize it and focus on it and know that it is your future reality. It is happening. And then from there, embodying that now in whatever way you can, finding a place, finding certain pockets of your life or your business where you do feel a little bit of freedom, or what can you do, what can you let go of in order to feel a sense of freedom now. These are all really important things to do from the start before you start worrying about the practical things that you can implement in your business. Really get to this point where you see what you want and why you want it and what it looks like. You don't need to worry about the how right now. Focus on why, what, and the feeling that it brings. Next thing, we now transition from energy work to mindset work, because now we have some stories to let go of. And it really is just a letting go process. Let go of those stories that say to yourself that it has to be hard, that you have to work all the time to be successful, that you don't deserve a certain level of income unless you work for it, that it is a struggle for you to have a successful business. Whatever your stories are that essentially go against this vision that you have of yourself living this amazingly, wonderfully free life because of your business, whatever blocks that come up in that process, let them go. Just release them. It is obviously easier said than done, but I think hearing my story as someone who's just a regular gal who wanted to not work for someone else ever again and who was able to figure out how to free up her calendar, I hope hearing that is a way to start proving those stories wrong. And of course, I'm not the only story out there of people who have these really amazingly successful businesses that don't really work that much. There's a lot of them out there these days, which is amazing and just shows the power of what we have available to us as online business owners. If that's something that you do or even partially do, use those stories as a way to prove that voice wrong that's saying you have to work hard, you have to work a certain number of hours, this can't be easy, you can't travel all the time, you can't do this, you can't do that, whatever it is. It's different for everybody. Use those stories, but then also use that as motivation for you to start taking action towards that life that you desire. And those actions will also be used as fuel to prove those stories wrong as well. That's really what we have to continue doing. So start with other people, see other ways in which those stories are not true, and then motivate yourself to work towards that, to take action towards the life you want. And that will be even more ways to let go of those stories. Next, and here is where we get into some practical business strategy that you can use, that you can start doing, start working on right now in your business, even if you've not even started your business yet, you can create this business from the start. You don't have to wait. You don't have to go through the ringer like I did in just starting a business and having it be basically even worse than when you were working for someone else in order to really find the freedom you desire. You can start right now, no matter what stage of business you're in. First thing, disconnect your time from your income. We've talked about this before. We'll probably talk about it a lot more in the future because it's super important. There is no reason why you can only get paid based on the hours you're working, the hours you're at your desk or with a client or whatever you're doing. That is an extremely outdated model of business or work or anything like that. So we have to find a way to disconnect your time from your income. This is what some people call passive income in the business world, and especially the online business space. It's a little misleading to say that because it doesn't start out as being passive necessarily. Obviously, you have to set up the system. You have to set up whether it's a program or a book you're writing or something like that. You have to do that work. And then on the tail end of that, once it's created or in the process of being created, then it becomes a little bit more passive and you will make income on that work for years and years and years and years to come. And that's when it really becomes passive. You won't necessarily even have to lift a finger while making an income. So when it comes to freedom, the best way to find that freedom is to not have your income be tied to your time. So at least have one decent sized income stream be independent of you actively doing something for that money. And I say a couple of things here. First of all, at least one, because I don't think, and I'm not saying to have your entire business be disconnected time from income. Now you can, and that's what I do, and that's great, and it's really worked for me, but you don't have to. If you still do want to take one-on-one clients as part of your income or as one income stream, as one service that you offer, that's amazing, but it can't be the only way that you make money. It can't be the only income stream that you have if you truly want to build a business that has this freedom component to it. So first I say that. The second thing I say in that sentence is a decent sized income. And I say that because there's obviously lots of opportunities to, say, for instance, be an affiliate for a brand that you love. Like you love this coffee creamer, so you talk about it every once in a while on social media or in your emails or whatever, and a few people per time click on it and maybe purchase. So you're getting a few bucks from that, but that's not enough to obviously support yourself. And it's not enough to induce this sense of freedom in you or in your business because there's not really much of a contribution there. So, and, as a side note, I love partnering with brands. I think it is a great way to make a few bucks here and there, especially if you're already going to be talking about the things that you love. You might as well get a little compensation for helping promote their business. Absolutely. So I think that that is a great option to include as another stream of income. Absolutely. And do that as many times as you want. And you can make a really good income from that. But I want there to be something else besides that that's also not tied to your time. And this is where things like online programs come in. And that was the case for me and my signature program, and then all the other programs I've created now beyond that. But it could also be something like a live workshop or a pre-recorded workshop where someone's paying a little bit of money and they are getting some teaching and coaching from you in this workshop. That could be something, obviously, that's going to be a lower price point option. But, if you have a decent sized audience and it's something that people really want to learn about and they're willing to pay for, then that could still be something that you host and run on a regular basis, which would be really cool. It could be also something like an ebook, which again would be a low price point option, but is an option. And if you are someone who, again, has a decent sized audience already, then that could be really profitable for you. And something to point out here too, I know most of you listening are service-based businesses. So you're providing a service in exchange for income. But if you are a product-based business where you have, let's say, natural skincare line, this is also something that you can use to boost your income and to have another revenue stream that is not associated with your time or your product. You could have an ebook about how to take care of your skin naturally, how to transition from toxic skincare to natural skincare, something like that, where if you have enough information, you could put into a workshop or an ebook and have this income stream that is not associated with anything else that will start building in that sense of freedom for you. And one other thing that I want to note here, because this seems to come up a lot when I start talking about passive income possibilities and working on this type of business model where you do have a signature program, you do have a workshop, you do have a book or something like that, you do not need to wait to have one of these things. You don't have to be in business for a certain period of time. You don't have to have had a certain number of clients first, or really any clients at all, to have one of these things. You can, and really, if this is enticing to you, this entire conversation is enticing, you should start your business with one of these income opportunities. There's no reason not to. And this could be the way that you kind of kick off and announce your business as being in business, is with this program that you have and that you run for groups or for people. And that could be a really wonderful way to announce your business out into the world, is with something really cool like that. All right, the next thing, we talked about disconnecting your time from your income. And now I want to say disconnect your location from your income. And again, at least partially, if you are someone who enjoys and wants to see people, see clients one-on-one in a physical space at an office you have, or just locally, or if you take clients in a gym and it's local, something like that, that is absolutely wonderful and cool and amazing. But then there also needs to be another income stream that is independent of your time and independent of your location. And it's not just for those that want to travel or work from anywhere, that digital nomad lifestyle. It's not just for those people. This is important for everyone, even if you are a homebody and just want to stay home with your family more often. This is still important to create that location independence for yourself, at least partially, so that you can feel the sense of just freedom, obviously, that's what we're talking about today, that comes from not having to be at a certain place at a certain time, at least in some aspects of your life, and at least when it comes to a certain level of income that you can bring in for your business that is completely independent of your location. So think about a way that you can disconnect your location from your income. Obviously, those things that I mentioned before, the signature program, the workshop, the ebook, those things are independent of your location because, hey, they're all done online and you can connect with anyone from anywhere in the world with those tools, with those business models built in for yourself, which is really cool to think about. And the last thing I want to talk about, just touch on here, is automation. And when I talk about automation, I always put the word aligned in front of it. So aligned automation, and I'll explain why I always put aligned in front of it in a second. But first, can I please tell you how much I love automation? And if you are currently not using it in your business, or you don't even know what I'm talking about, well, hey, then we need to have a little talk right now, because we all should and need to start prioritizing automating things in your business. There are so many different tools and software out there these days that you can apply in your business to automate every step of the way. You can go all the way from your client first laying eyes on your work, having no idea who you are, all the way to them becoming paying clients, with it being a completely automated experience. You are not touching a thing. You are not involved in that whole system at all, because you've set it up beforehand to be a completely automated experience. And now this is where the conversation of aligned comes in, because some of you, and myself included, when I first heard about using automation in business, I was like, this feels like not very good. This feels like I'm not taking care of my people, the people that I hope to work with someday, enough, that I'm just kind of putting them on autopilot and taking them through this process, and I never actually connect with them, and it just doesn't feel right. That was my initial reaction, and that's the reaction that I hear from a lot of people when I start talking about automation. The reality is, when we do so from a place of alignment, and we really truly think about those dream clients that we have and how we can deliver the very best experience for them, that is when aligned automation really comes in handy and really actually makes sense. Because if you don't automate anything in your business, then let's say someone finds your website or finds your social media or something and has a curiosity about you and your work. Maybe they sign up to, let's just say, we'll go way back to where we just have we don't even have a freebie, but we have an email list, and we have a way for them to sign up for our newsletter. And they sign up to get information from us, and then they don't hear anything. Well, first of all, clearly they're not going to become clients, paying clients ever, because they don't hear from you. But that also isn't a very good experience for them. You are not serving them to the best of your ability because you didn't write them an email. And honestly, you probably don't have time to write every single person that signs up for your newsletter an email, and definitely not if you're actually really working to build your email list and people are subscribing. You're not going to have the time to send everyone a personal email, but they still deserve a warm welcome, and they still need that warm welcome, and you can't do it all yourself. So when we create a system that is automated for our clients to feel welcomed into our world, for them to get more help, more tips, more tricks, to feel taken care of and to get to know us better, well, first of all, that's creating a really amazing experience for them. Second of all, it's creating more freedom for you because you have this all happening behind the scenes. You are giving this amazing experience to someone who needs it and who is interested in your work without you having to do anything, because it's already been done. You've already thought about it prior, and it's creating a really, really profound relationship with that person so that they can then become paying clients and get the help they need quicker. And because they will get to know you quicker and get to know your work and get the help they need. So all of this is very much in alignment with having a heart-centered business. We need to be providing this service to the people that find our work, and you can't do that on your own with every single person. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be treated well when they find you and get introduced to your world. So in an ideal situation, if someone were to happen upon your website or a blog post or a podcast episode, YouTube video, your Instagram, whatever it is, and they are interested in learning more from you, interested in the work that you do, they would see that you have the option to opt in to a freebie that you have created just for them because you are that in tune with your dream clients and you are really providing content to that dream client. So then they see this free thing that you are offering. Maybe it's a quiz or a workbook or something like that. That sounds amazing. And they really want it because they really want to know that information. They sign up with their email to get that freebie so they can get that information. And then on your end, from behind the scenes, they are put into an automated welcome sequence. And that automated welcome sequence then sends a few emails over the course of a week, giving them some more free tips, getting them introduced to you and your work and your personality and all that stuff, giving them more free advice, more free stuff from you, more content that you have created. That is building a relationship, and it's providing a warm welcome, and it's also giving them more tools and help that they need. All good things, right? And then that sequence can continue to go on for as long as you want, essentially, and can get to the point where one of those emails is introducing a paid offer. It could be one of those things we've talked about before, which is, the workshop, the ebook, the program, or it could be even signing up for a free consultation with you to see if you would be a good fit to work one-on-one together. Either way, it's taking them through this entire journey that they feel really supported. They've really gotten to know you. You've done the work to make that clear and how you can help them. And then the next logical step is to take the next step with you. And that's really what automation can do. And that's what I recommend using it for. There are so many different ways, but I think that is a really good place just to start. If you haven't used automation in your business yet, start there. And that is something that I teach and I go over in Unstuck Entrepreneur. If you get into my mentorship program, when it opens back up in the spring, that's something we'll go over, and I give you exactly what to say in all of those emails to make the welcome sequence feel really special. But you don't need that to get started right now. Just think about what journey you want to take your clients on from the second that they know you exist and they want that freebie and they move on to a place where they would potentially want to work with you. What do they need to hear? What other content can you provide for them? And just be there for them and provide this warm welcome. And I hope you can also see that just in that one use of automation in your business, you have freed up so much time and energy from you. You have taken someone from not knowing who you are to wanting to work with you and potentially buying from you without anything on your part because you've done it all in advance. And from there, you can be on vacation. You can be hanging out with your family. You can be sleeping. And this whole process is going on, and to the point where income is even being generated behind the scenes entirely, completely passively. So you really, truly can have a life and business of freedom. And that is exactly what is happening in my business to this day. I have built all of this up on the back end, and it is a machine that is constantly working no matter what I'm doing that day in my personal life, in my business, no matter what. I have these systems that are always going, and it's because I've used automation. I've disconnected my location from my income. I've disconnected my time from my income. Super important. And none of that could have happened if I hadn't started by shifting my energy and really getting to this place where I believed it was possible, where I believed it was going to happen, where I knew what I wanted it to look like. So don't forget to start there. Please take these tips and apply them. I promise you it will just open up a whole new world for you and your business and the life you want to live. It will create so much more freedom and flexibility for you, which I know is something that you're probably really looking forward to creating more of in your life and in your business. Now, one more thing for those who do want to add a signature program as part of their business as a business model that allows for more freedom and flexibility and an uncapped income potential, if that is you and you want a signature program, then I have a very special invitation for you. I am hosting a free masterclass starting on Monday, October 25th, which if you're listening to this when it airs is a few days away. And if you're a little late to listen to this and it's already open, you can get into the free masterclass. It's 5 secrets to creating a signature program that sells out. These secrets are things that most program creators do not do, and they do not have a successful program because of it. I am sharing my secrets with you after 5 years of being in the program creation business and 6 signature programs built. I have figured it out. I know the secret sauce, and I want to share that with you so that you too can create a signature program that is not only special and unique to you, but is also something that stands out in your industry, no matter how saturated it is, and people want it. People are knocking on the door to get in. That is when we know you have a signature program that sells out, and it is possible for you, no matter, ding, 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 listen to this, no matter what size audience you currently have, no matter what stage of business you are currently in. You do not need to have a certain number of followers. You do not need to have a certain number of emails on your email list. You do not need to be in business for a certain period of time or have had a certain number of clients to make this work for you. So please be there. The cool thing is that you are going to be able to select a time that works best for your schedule so that you can invest that uninterrupted time that you know you can be there into your business goals. And just make sure it's me time, it's uninterrupted, but it is something that you are dedicated to doing to achieve a new place in your business. Head to the website, shawnmynar.com/program masterclass, and select the time that works best for you. Get ready to learn a ton. Be ready to take notes. And yes, I will provide a worksheet to help you because there's going to be a ton of information thrown at you. But do this for yourself. Do this for your business. See if it's something that you want to include and get some advice and get some info on how to do that. So here's just a snippet of what we're going to do together. We are going to learn how to use signature programs to reach your income goals regardless of audience size or your current stage of business. Decide on a profitable, impactful program topic that will excite both you and your clients. We'll uncover the 5 secrets most program creators never learn that will guarantee your program sells out without having to quote unquote sell anything. You'll master the ingredients required to create an irresistible offer that makes your program stand out from the crowd and have your dream clients begging for a spot in your program. And we'll determine whether adding a signature program is the right business model for you and your business and how to actually make it come to life. That's a lot of stuff. You are definitely going to want to make time for this. Again, shawnmynar.com/program masterclass. Head there, reserve your spot, get in on the info, and see if this is the next step for you and your business. I cannot wait for you to get your hands on all of the goodies that are inside that free masterclass, 5 secrets to creating a signature program that sells out. Again, shawnmynar.com/program masterclass. All right, my friends, until next time, take care. If you're like most of my clients, you followed your passion for health, got your certifications, did the trainings, and now you're excited to have your very own thriving, impactful wellness business. But how do you actually do that? It's a common position to be in, especially in the wellness space, because no one teaches you this whole business thing along the way. This trend is exactly why I'm here, a passionate nutritionist turned business coach for wellness professionals, because I'm done seeing wellness practitioners continue to play small in their business simply because they don't know the right steps to take. If you're like most wellness pros out there with a dream to start their own impactful, freedom-filled business, you've probably spent hours trying to build your website, figure out what the heck to post on social media, and taking all the courses to try to get confident in what you're doing. Or maybe just the thought of all that sends you into a puddle of stress and overwhelm. Good news, you don't need a perfect website, a killer Instagram strategy, or to be an expert to have an impactful and successful business. What you do need is a plan. The Wellness Business Blueprint is the jumpstart you need to plan, prepare, and execute on your passion for helping others without that sinking feeling of overwhelm. Because this isn't like the other stuffy, boring business plans out there. The Wellness Business Blueprint is centered around you. What feels good to you? What's right for your business, your dreams, and your lifestyle? What keeps you in alignment and your energy flowing? What allows you to stay sane and stress-free and excited in your business? Because building your dream wellness business starts with a plan that works for you. This free 15-page printable workbook will take you through my signature Flow and Grow business framework so you can create your own business vision while gaining clarity, structure, and a solid plan to move forward. Download it today and get started on your business blueprint. Head to ShawnMynar.com/WBB. That stands for Wellness Business Blueprint, and get started building your dream wellness business today. Again, that's ShawnMynar.com/WBB.